Hello everyone, I'm at the Microsoft documentation for creating and managing users. This is part of their learning series, and in this one what we really want to learn is how to create an user, how to view the users that we already have, look at different type of users and their identities, how to add users, syncing an on-premises Windows Server directory. What do you need to do? And mostly and a little bit of command line to do stuff. So I'm going to try to follow the instructions and see um, if we can do this exercise together. So first of all, viewing user, that's a pretty easy task. So we'll go to our Azure instance, go to the Active Directory, and it should be pretty obvious. We'll just go to users, and all the users associated with this directory should show up. And as we expected, all of them are here. So let's go back. Notice that your source code and the following figure tickets. So it's saying it defines the users in three different ways: cloud identities, directory, synchronized identities, and guest users. Actually, that's pretty important. So you can create the users from that within the active Azure Active Directory, and they will show up as Azure Active Directory. Okay, and they could show up as guest user, and if Active Directory, they're actually a member. Some other users which you did not create, and say this user, they already had a Microsoft account. I invited that person, now is registered with the Active AD, he is showing up as the Microsoft account source, and user is still user, and that user we have invited but he's not yet registered himself, so he's showing up as guest. So guest user, they exist outside Azure, and that's important to note. Directory synchronized identities, I don't have any because I don't have any on-prem AD configured for any of the exercises. So you can probably look at the boundaries. For guest users, they're outside Azure. Directory synchronized, they exist in on-premises Active Directory. Cloud initiative identities, they exist only in the Azure AD. Okay, now how do you add users? So it's also pretty simple to add users. So if you're over here, you can either do a new user, and you can just have to new user 001, say new user 001. Oh. Username, name, I'm gonna use this. Password auto generated, I don't care any of this, so just create one. If I create this, you should see the new user 001 is created, and he's a member, and since I used the Active Directory to create it, it's part of the Azure Active Directory. Okay, it's as simple as that. Let's see, invite, you can also do the invite and bring another user. It's also pretty simple. You go over here, you just click on new user. Instead of creating user, you just go for create user. You give the name, say to, and email address, say to test.com, and you just send the invite. Okay, so that's how once you send that invite, so here is the user showing up. Now since I have not registered using the Active Directory, he is showing up as a guest user. Okay, so we have covered those. You can use the command line to do your work. So if you want to do that, Powershell, I'm using Ubuntu, it's not going to work, so I can go over here, use the Powershell from here. Let's see if I can run it from this window. Sometimes I have problem running using this browser. Sometimes I have to use the Chromium browser to run. Actually, I'm going to go back to Powershell, confirm. So come on. Alright, so it's going to get to Azure building Azure Drive. So let's see. Okay, this one. So what it's doing here, I'm going to store this variable password profile. It's going to create a new object. Type name is a password profile. So that's a resource provider. So once I create this and enter this, I have now this password profile available to me. So next, we want to create a password. So this is the password that we're going to use. So over here, I can run the next command. So here, this password profile, I'm assigning a property dot password, like is this, and then I'm gonna run the command again. The third thing I'm doing now, I can create the user using my Powershell command. So I'm gonna come back over my screen got stuck. Let me see if I can go back here and at least pause for a second. Okay, screen is back on, so I can come back over here and I can do paste of that command. So if you look at the command, it's a Powershell command again. It's add a new Azure add a Active Directory user. So new Azure AD Active Directory user, account enable, enable the account, true. Display name is Abby Brown. Password profile is the password profile we have already created. Main nickname is this. User principal name is the email address. If I click, you must connect you must call the connect Azure AD commandlet before calling the other commandlet. So let me see if we have missed running commandlet in here, and we have not. So let's just copy the whole thing. Let's try to run it from here, see if that's useful or not. No, so it's not working. Load or get, I don't think so. Let's do connect is your AD. So that's probably needed to load that module. Actually, that's right. So this is a add-on module that you want to have available to your Powershell environment. So once you have that, I can just run the last command, and now this is saying that it's invalid and stuff like that. So let's try to paste the whole thing one more time, and no, this is also not a good command. So looks like there is either some problem with this command, or there is some problem with my environment that this script is not working. So we'll come back to this one later. So let's see if the CLI environment is doing a little bit better job for us. So let's go to bash, and we're gonna run the command that's given to us. We'll put it there and hit enter. Okay, so something is wrong with this domain. It's saying the domain portion of the principal display name is invalid. You must use one of the verified domain names in your organization. I'm not sure which one it's I think this is the one it's causing us the problem. You know what, we can probably fix it. So let's do this. Let's go back to the user that we created. What all we need seems like is this portion is causing us the problem. So copy that one Let's go do this and come over here. So this is, get rid of that and paste the domain name from here. Okay, so now let's rerun the command. Now it's saying the password is not compatible, so at least it's a different problem. So let's go back to the password and let's fix the password. Okay, so password dot 23456 GFD. So that should be pretty long, so let's try it if this one is helpful. Wow. So, well, good thing that we ran across some problem and we have resolved the problem looking at it and be able to solve this just looking at the script. So what you have, you are seeing here is the JSON output and everything went good, went well. So you should be able to see the user Abby B in our all users. Let's see, where is Mr. Abby? Abby, let's refresh this. Okay, all users, come on, let's go to default directory users and we're looking for ABB. Here's go, Happy Brown. Okay, so now since we know what is the problem, what was the problem with the script, we can go back even to our Powershell, and if we want we can fix the Powershell command as well. So all you really need to do, even in the Powershell command here, the principal name, you just want to change this Contosha to whatever directory name that you have, and it should be able to create the user just fine. Okay, here is some direction about the naming convention and password. The other thing I wanted to let you know, you can use a CSV with the Powershell. That's pretty cool how you use it. I'll just show you real quick here. You have a upload and download file. You can upload a file from the local machine to here directly, and then you can run a Powershell command to bulk populate user, or you can just come over here and you can do bulk create, and it's going to give you a link to a CSV. You can download the CSV. It will have some sample template. You just fill it up, just open it in Excel CSV format and just provide the required parameters, and once you're done, just put it back in here and you can upload it from the web interface, and you'll be able to create a whole bunch of users in one go. So let's come back over here. So I guess that's all I wanted to cover in this video. In the next one, we'll just follow along and we'll create and manage some groups. Thank you for watching. I know that we stumble, but we resolved the problem. Hope you enjoyed that part. Thank you. Bye bye.